Welcome everybody, a new day and a great new episode every Wednesday, with your beautiful support, by subscribing and liking the video, and also for sure, sharing the video, the channel gets bigger and better. Enjoy watching. The Sukhoi Su-17 is a variable sweep-wing fighter bomber developed for the Soviet military. Its NATO reporting name is FITTER. Developed from the Sukhoi Su-7, the Su-17 was the first variable sweep-wing aircraft to enter Soviet service. And Su-22 have usually been regarded as variants of the Su-17. The Su-17 has had a long career and has been operated by many other air forces including the Russian Federation, other former Soviet republics, the former Warsaw Pact, countries in the Arab world, Angola and Peru. Role: fighter bomber. National origin: Soviet Union. Manufacturer: Soukhoï. First flight: August 2, 1966. Introduction: 1970. Status: in limited service. Primary user: Syrian Air Force, Polish Air Force, Peruvian Air Force. Produced 1969 to 1990. Number built: 2867. Developed from Sukhoi Su-7. Variants: Su-7IG, S-22I, FITTER B. Su-7BM Variable Geometry Wing Demonstrator. Su-17, S-32, FITTER B, limited production run based on the longer fuselage of the two-seat Su-7U trainer, with bulged dorsal spine for extra fuel, 4,550 L/1,200 US gal total. Retained Su-7's Lyulka AL-7F1 engine. Manufactured 1969 to 1973. Su-17K, export version of the Su-17 for Egyptian Air Force. Su-17M, S-32M, FITTER C, first major production version, introduced Lyulka AL-21F3 engine, twin pitot tubes, new navigation and attack computer, retaining Su-7BMK's SRD-5M ranging radar, angle of attack vane, single brake parachute. Variable position intake center body providing maximum speed of Mach 2.1. First flight, December 28, 1971 with VS Soukhoï at the controls. The export version was designated Su-20. First flying December 15, 1972 with AN Isakov at the controls. Manufactured 1972 to 1975, entered service in 1973. Exported to Egypt, Poland, and Syria. Su-17 M28, test bed for Kh-28, AS-9 Kyle, anti-radiation missile. Su-17 MKG, test bed for Kh-25, AS-10 Karen and Kh-29, AS-14 Kedge missiles. Su-17R, small number of Su-17M aircraft equipped to carry reconnaissance pods. Equivalent export version designated Su-20R. Su-17 M2, S-32 M2, FITTER D, nose extended 38 cm, 15 in. Deleting ranging radar and drooping to improve pilot visibility. FON 1400 laser rangefinder marked target seeker, LRMTS. ASP-17 and PBK-3-17's aiming avionics. RSBN-6S short-range navigation and instrument landing system. Under-nose fairing for DISS-7 Doppler navigation radar. First flight, December 20, 1973 with VS Ilyushin at the controls. Manufactured 1974 to 1977, entered service in 1975. Su-17 M2D, test fit of the Tamansky Katkachurov R-29 BS-300 engine, shared with some MiG-23s, with 112.7 kilonewtons, 25,335 pound forces. After burning thrust, in a bulged rear fuselage. Due to lack of performance advantage and decreased range due to higher fuel consumption, it was decided to offer this engine as an export version only. First flight, January 31, 1975 with AN Isakov at the controls. The export variant was designated Su-22, factory code S32M2K, NATO FITTER F, manufactured 1977 to 1978. Su-27 S-52U, Fitter E, first two-seat trainer version, based on the Su-17 M2, but with a different, deeper fuselage with windscreen moved forward. Same length as the original Su-17M. Internal fuel capacity reduced and port cannon deleted, but retained full avionics and armament. First flight, August 15, 1975 with VA Kreketov at the controls. Test flights revealed longitudinal instability at high angles of attack, which was remedied by enlarging the tail fin. Export version with the R-29 engine was designated Su-22U. Manufactured 1976 to 1978, entered service in 1976. Su-17M3, S-52, Fitter H, based on the revised airframe of the Su-17UM, but with an avionics bay and an additional fuel tank in place of the rear cockpit, increasing the internal fuel capacity to 4850 L, 1,280 US gal. Doppler radar moved internally, removing the fairing. Clun-P laser rangefinder target designator. A launch rail for K-13, AA-2 Atoll or R-60, AA-8 aphid was added between the two existing pylons on each wing. First flight, June 30, 1976 with VA Kreketov at the controls. Export version with the R-29 engine and downgraded avionics, equivalent to Su-17 M2, was designated Su-22M, factory designation S-52K. NATO Fitter J, and first flew on May 24, 1977 with ES Soukhoï at the controls. An export version with Su-17 M3 avionics was designated Su-22 M3, factory S-52MK. Su-17 manufactured 1976 to 1981. Su-22 milliseconds were manufactured 1978 to 1984. Su-17M Su-22M Su-22 M3 was the most numerous variant with almost 1,000 built. Su-17UM, S-52UM, the initial trainer version with the same avionics suite as the Su-17M. The export version was designated Su-22UM3 with R-29 engine, and Su-22UM3K with the AL-21 engine. Manufactured 1978 to 1982. Su-17UM3, S-52UM3, Fitter G, revised trainer with the same avionics suite as the Su-17M3. First flight, September 21, 1978 with U. A. Yegorov at the controls. The export version was designated Su-22UM3 with R-29 engine, and Su-22UM3K with the AL-21 engine. Manufactured 1978 to 1982. Su-17M4, S-54, Fitter K, final production version with considerably upgraded avionics, including RSD and navigation, similar to Lorne. Beacon navigation, inertial navigation, a more powerful, clean, K-54 laser rangefinder, radio compass, and SPO-15LE, Sirena radar warning system. Additional fuselage inlets, including ram air inlet at the base of the fin. To improve engine cooling airflow, fixed air intake shock cone. Many aircraft were equipped for the use of TV-guided missiles and BA-58 VJUGA pod for anti-radiation missiles. AL-21F3 engine. Export version was designated Su-22M4, factory S-54K. First flight, June 19, 1980 with U. A. Yegorov at the controls. Su-17M4 was manufactured 1981 to 1988. Su-22M4 was manufactured 1983 to 1990. Su-20, the initial export version of the Su-17M, S-32MK. Su-22M5, a Russian-French upgrade package offered for existing aircraft with modernized cockpit, HOTAS, improved avionics systems, and laser rangefinder replaced by Phasitron Thompson CSF radar. Su-22U, the S-52U-2C combat trainer, export version of the Su-17UM, with a completely redesigned nose housing the tandem cockpits for student and instructor. Gun pods such as the Su-23-based UPK-23 and SPPU-22 were utilized by the Su-17, Su-20, and Su-22. The SPPU-22 ground attack variant featured 30 degrees of traverse. An experimental version of the Su-20 was built with fixed wings attached to an Su-17M fuselage, in an effort to increase payload range performance by eliminating the weight of the wing sweep system. Good results were obtained in flight tests in 1973, but further development was cancelled. Tactical reconnaissance versions of all variants could be made by fitting the KKR, Kommandorovanie Container Razvedki, combined reconnaissance pod, on the centerline hardpoint. Specifications: Su-17M4, General Characteristics, Crew, 1, Length, 19.02 meters, 62 feet 5 in, Wingspan, 13.68 meters, 44 feet 11 in, Wings spread 10.02 meters, 33 feet, Wings swept, height, 5.12 meters, 16 feet 10 in, Wing area, 38.5 m2, 414 square feet, Wing spread, No 34.5 m2, 371 square feet, Wings swept, airfoil, root TSAGISR3S, 5.9%. Tip, TSAGISR3S, 4.7%, empty weight, 12,160 kilograms, 26,808 pounds, gross weight, 16,400 kilograms, 36,156 pounds, max takeoff weight, 19,430 kilograms, 42,836 pounds, fuel capacity, 3,770 kilograms, 8,311 pounds. Power plant, 1X Lyulka AL-21F3 afterburning turbojet engine, 76.4 kilonewtons, 17,200 pound forces, thrust dry, 109.8 kilonewtons, 24,700 pound forces, with afterburner. Performance, maximum speed, 1,400 kilometers per hour, 870 miles per hour, 760 kn/m1.13 at sea level. 1,860 kilometers per hour, 1,160 miles per hour. 1,000 kn, at altitude. Combat range, 1,150 kilometers, 710 miles, 620 mi. High-low high attack with 2,000 kilograms, 4,409 pounds. Warlord, ferry range, 2,300 kilometers, 1,400 miles, 1,200 mi. Service ceiling, 14,200 meters, 46,600 feet. G limits, +7. Rate of climb, 230 meters per second, 45,000 feet per minute. Wing loading, 443 kilograms per meter to 91 pounds per square foot. Thrust weight, 0.68. Armament, guns 2x 30 mm Nudelman Richter NR30 autocannons, 80 rounds per gun, 160 rounds total. UPK-23 or SPPU-22 gun pods for 2x Griez of Shipynog Jish-23L autocannons, hard points, 12 hard points with a capacity of up to 4,000 kilograms, 8,800 pounds, of stores, with provisions to carry combinations of missiles air-to-air missiles, K-13, R-60, R-73. Air-to-surface missiles, KH-23 Grom, KH-25 milliliters, KH-29 liters per ton D, anti-radiation missiles, KH-58, KH-27 picoseconds, KH-28, bombs, drop bombs, laser-guided bombs, electro-optical bombs, napalm bombs, drag-chute bombs and cluster bombs, rockets, S-5, S-8 and S-13. Development, seeking to improve low speed and takeoff landing performance of the Su-27B fighter bomber. In 1963 the Soukhoï OKB with input from TSAGI created a variable sweep wing technology demonstrator. The Su-7IG, internal designation S-22I, NATO designation FITTER B, converted from a production Su-27BM, had fixed inner portions of the wing with movable outer segments which could be swept to 28 degrees, 45 degrees, or 62 degrees. Operators: Angola, Iran, Libya, Poland, Syria, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, Yemen, Democratic Republic of Afghanistan, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Egypt, Germany, Hungary, Iraq, Kazakhstan, Peru, Russia, Slovakia, Ukraine, Turkmenistan, Soviet Union. Soviet Union Su-17s were split between post-USSR countries. Operational history: Soviet Union, Russia. The Su-17 M3/4 were used during the First Chechen War alongside Sukhoi Su-24s and Sukhoi Su-25s in ground attack and reconnaissance missions. Angola: the Soviets supplied the Communist government of Angola with 12 Su-20 milliseconds in 1982 or 1983, which formed the basis of the 15th FS. The squadron suffered a swift loss of at least 6 aircraft, most in mishaps, by 1985. And 3 more by 1988, and had only 2 aircraft left when it was reinforced with another Soviet batch of 14 Su-22 M4KS and 2 Su-22 UM3KS in 1989-90, incorporated into the 26th Air Regiment, based in Mokamedes. A second shipment from Belarus in 1999 consisted of 2 Su-22 UBs and 4 Su-22 milliseconds, and a third one from Slovakia in 1999-2001 consisted of 10 Su-22 M4s and 1 Su-22 UM3K. These aircraft saw heavy use in the war against UNITA. From the aforementioned losses, which cannot be classified as mishaps or combat attrition, only an Su-20M, serialed C-510 was reportedly downed in 1987. And a better documented case occurred on November 6, 1994 when an Su-22 based at Katumbala was shot down by a SAM fired by UNITA during a raid against Huambo. The pilot managed to eject and flee naked after stripping off his flight suit. Iraq: from September 22, 1980 to August 20, 1988, during the Iran-Iraq War, Iraq used Su-17 export versions, Su-20 and Su-22, alongside older Su-7s, used in ground attack and close air support roles. Iranian F-14s shot down 21 Su-20/-22s, that have been confirmed by Western sources. 18 Su-20/-22s were also shot down by Iranian McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom IIs and 3 by Iranian Northrop F-5s. Official Iraqi accounts show no loss of Su-20 aircraft throughout the war against the Kurds and Iran. 20 Su-22 M2s, 2 Su-22 M3s and 7 Su-22 M4s were lost during the war with Iran. The majority to anti-aircraft fire sustained during low-level bombing raids against the Iranian front lines. In 1991, during the Gulf War, Iraqi Su-22s saw limited active service because the Iraqi regime distrusted the Iraqi Air Force, IKF. On February 7, 1991, 2 Su-20/-22s and 1 Su-7 were shot down by USAF F-15C Eagles using AIM-7 air-to-air missiles. When the IKF was moving its aircraft to Iran, many more were destroyed on the ground by coalition air forces or evacuated to Iran and were never returned. On 20th and 22nd March 1991, 2 other Su-20/-22s were downed by a USAF F-15C during Operation Provide Comfort that started soon after the war. In-house OKB designations: S-22I, the first prototype variable geometry Su-7, converted from a production Su-7BM, first flown on August 2, 1966. S-32, the initial production version, dubbed Su-17 by the VVS, Soviet Air Forces. S-32M, the Su-17 with the Lyalka AL-21F engine and restructured fuselage plus several smaller modifications, resulting in a greater fuel capacity and more weapons stations. S-32MK, the Su-20 export version with revised armament options and less sophisticated avionics. First flight, December 15, 1972. S-32MK hybrid, Single aircraft, FN 9500, built with fuselage of Su-22 Mk and fixed wings of Su-27 Mk. Offered to customers as cheaper, less complex alternative to Su-20, but no production. Su-32M2, the Su-17M with improved flying controls and weapon aiming equipment. Production carried out from 1975 to 1977. Su-32M2K, the Su-22 export version of the Su-17M2 with a Tomansky R-29 BS-300 engine. Su-32M2D, and Su-17 tested with ski landing gear, similar to that used on the Su-26, Su-7, used for very rough field landing and takeoff tests. Su-52U, the Su-17UM Su-22 U2C combat trainer version with a completely redesigned nose housing the tandem cockpits for student and instructor. Su-52, in a reverse development, the trainer modifications were adapted for a new attack variant, the Su-17M3. Su-52K, an export variant of the Su-52, given the designation Su-22M. Su-52M3K, series production Su-22 M3 aircraft with laser rangefinder and avionics mods. Su-52UK, the trainer variant with all the Su-32M2K structural modifications and a reduced weapons portfolio. Su-52UM3, the Su-17UM3 for the VVS with avionics and aerodynamic changes. Su-52UM3K, the export version of the Su-17UM3. Su-52R, tactical reconnaissance Su-17M3R with a KK Kominaruvani container Razvedi, combined reconnaissance pod, on the center line pylon. Su-54, production Su-17M4 fighter bombers. Su-54K, export Su-17M4S, designated Su-22M4. Su-54R, tactical reconnaissance Su-17M4R with a KKR, Kominaruvani container Razvedi, combined reconnaissance pod, on the center line pylon. Thank you very much for watching the video. Like, subscribe and share. We are waiting for your comments to enrich the content. Thanks again, and good night.